I have been trying to interpret some of the way sometimes I get actual words. Sometimes I see actual things. Sometimes I'm experiencing concepts and ideas, and I'm trying to interpret them. I just realized that I have been interpreting something sort of backwards. I have been looking at, it's perspective. If you take the perspective of from the darkest of the darkest and earth, and how distorted and difficult and everything was here, and that God in the divine realm becomes aware of that. From the perspective of the earth, remember, you're looking up, you see God as being there and seeing here. And so God there decides to come here to fix it. And that when he comes here to fix it, I'm still looking at it from the perspective of here, from the earth's perspective, that he is coming here and fixing it and doing the work. And there's more like he's making the decisions and about realigning and how realigning. Okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. That is not actually, that is a perspective from a small direction looking at it. What is actually happening is that, okay, this is bigger. When I talk and say that God had just made the decision to come, and I stated that how could he do that? That is impossible. God cannot come, is because that is in fact still true. The divine essence, the divine that is God and exists with God and around God and God is present with God, cannot be distorted. It cannot. It's just it. It cannot be distorted. In his presence, distortion cannot exist. So, when I have been saying this area is this percent realigned, it is actually, as God's presence becomes fully in an, I will say, area, then everything in that area becomes realigned because it cannot not be realigned. It just has to be. It just is. That's what happens. And those going to, and I've been saying those who go into talk about those going to the singularity. It is because it is I'm trying to say, instead of it being a philosophical or a moral issue from which the earth perspective it would look more like, it is more of chemical type. Not really chemical. It's not chemical, but I'm using chemical like an illustration. As you pour this into that, then that will be there. As God pours in his divinity into an area, as he becomes fully more present, that area becomes fully more completely aligned. Anything that is not as aligned cannot be there. It does not exist anymore. That's it. It doesn't exist anymore because you cannot exist in there and not be fully aligned. God is filling everything. And the distortions are not being, I'm going to go look for this distortion. Oh, no, as God's there, the distortions just aren't there anymore. They cannot, it is fully realigned. It is not so much a decision or a thought, and that's why I said no bargaining, but these are all coming from the earth perspective as to how it would be seen as happening. As God pours into it will just be realigned. There will not be can I hold on? No, there is no, it is, okay, it is very, try to imagine, this is what I am actually seeing. The immensest, brightest silvery gold, more than white light. But within that white light, you can still see all the colors. But it's moving in a phenomenal way. It's not just like a slight moving this and that. It's like, it's loud. It's like if you were sitting at the base of Niagara Falls after a very rainy season. Not even quite, like a really rainy, the thundering of it. It is like that kind of thundering, but it's also like a song. It's like a song and music and thundering power like that. And the brightest everything light. And it is God himself, the being that is moving into everything, so that as that bright divinity comes there, everything realigns, like you might consider like a powerful magnet will cause everything to go in a certain direction and react. It's like, it just goes like that, and it just happens. And those who were only mildly out of alignment will just experience a whoosh, and it'll go whoosh, and the thunder and the music and the wonder will pour through, and it'll be like the most deepest sigh and relief and exultation at the same time. That has come through the all of everything, excluding the universe of the souls. The universe of the souls, he is coming through gentler. He is purposefully coming through in a gentler, softer way, because he knows the darkness that is here, and that if he were to come through any quicker, billions would be lost. The difference would be so extreme, so quick, it would just be whoosh. It would be beautiful and brilliant afterwards, but he is being much, much slower and gentler in his moving into. It is not I am deciding and let's have a conversation. It is just merely his presence is doing it. Just his presence is doing the realign. He is not choosing to realign as in I'm going to do this, I'm going to take my hands and I'm going to think about this. It is not like that. Just his mere existence and presence is doing this. Where we are in the darkest of the dark, he is coming in very slow. He is coming very slow, very tender, and a soft realigning, and watching as the souls start to think. If you have a powerful magnet and you have a bunch of iron filings, you could just take the magnet and slam it down the middle of them and they all go whoop. But he's not doing that. He's starting from far away and slowly bringing it in, slowly watching how the filings are reacting, so that there's not a big crash. There's not a big boom. It's not a big bang. It is a carefully orchestrated realignment. That is what he is doing. It is very gentle. It is very tender. It is very soft in his coming in. But it is not realigning of moral issues or anything like that. Or it's just he's coming in. And anything that does not realign does not exist. All there is to it. Nothing more. No discussion.